Hi guys, so this is the tutorial for creating your 2D game. This is the one where you're using your own characters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click New, change the project to whatever you want your game to be called. I'm just going to call mine 2D Tutorial. Make sure it's on 2D. And then change the location by clicking on these three dots so that it's on your flash drive. And then create. Okay, so now my game has loaded up. You can see the scene view, the game view, my hierarchy, and my projects. I have not imported any assets, and I'm not going to for now. So I'm going to click on my untitled scene and click on Inspector in case your services are showing. Okay, so all that's in here is just my main camera and this untitled scene. So I'm going to click on File and New Scene. And what I want to do is I want to create my landing page. So that first page that pops up when someone goes to my game. Okay, so if I click the little drop down arrow right here, I can click Save Scene, and I'm going to change it so that it says landing page. And then it's currently saved in my assets folder, which is fine. And then down here for organization, I'm going to create a folder called Scenes. And I'm just going to drag my landing page scene into my scenes folder. Okay. Now what I want to do is over here in landing page, I want to add a game object. So I can either click over here on this icon and then go down to game object and do it this way. Or if I right click on my object, I can go down to game object and then create an object. And I want to create a canvas. So I go to UI and then canvas. So what this does, it creates a space for where I'm going to put my stuff. So I'm going to do an image for my background. So I'm going to go right click on my canvas and insert a UI image. And it's right here. If I had my image so that it was just inside my scene, it would go outside of my canvas. Okay, and so let's reset the position. So it's now at 0, 0, 0, and you can't even see it in my game view at all. But if I drag image so that it's a child of canvas, so I drag it and let go when it's when it's on canvas, then it will become a child of the canvas, and my position, my X and Y, will be relative to the canvas. Okay, so now when I reset my position to 0, 0, since my anchors are set to the center, then when my position is set to 0, 0, 0, it brings that image so that it's to the center. If I hold down Alt and Shift, then I can cause it, and then click on this bottom right one, it will stretch my image so that it's the same size as my canvas. I'm going to push Control S to save my scene, and I can now change the color of my background. Okay, now I'm going to add on some text. So I can either make it a child of the canvas or a child of the image by right-clicking UI text. And I'm going to change my text to whatever my game is. And I can make the font size larger. And then I'm going to want to make mine in the center. And then I'm going to change my width and my height. Or I can cause it to stretch. So if I do this one, then it stretches the width so that it's the same size as the canvas size. And I can also drag up here in the scene view. So if I click on text, I can drag and make it larger. So there it is. And I can change whatever I want about my text. Wrap, what it does is if my text goes outside of this box horizontally, so that means going on the same line, what do I want it to do? So wrap means it would go down to the next line. Overflow means that it would go outside of the box. So I want mine to wrap. And then vertical overflow, so if it gets too long going down, what do I want it to do? Truncate means to cut it off, so that's not showing. Overflow means that it would go outside of the box. Okay, so you can choose either of those. Doesn't matter for this choice. Color, if I click on it, I can change to whatever color I want. If I want it black, I need to drag it all the way down to the corner. Okay, so I'm going to save again. Command Control S. And now I need to add on a script. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to here and click Create Game Object, and I'm going to go to, oh, where is it? All right, I'm going to create an empty one, an empty game object, and I'm going to rename this one Landing Page. This is the object that I'm going to attach the script to that's going to control this entire scene. So with landing page selected, I'm going to add component, new script. I'm going to call it landing page, and I want it to be C#. So now it's going to create my script for me. On my computer, it automatically opens MonoDevelop, which is not installed on the school computers. So you're going to need to click Open With and go all the way down to WordPad. It should open up something similar to this. And then we need to add in a line that says using Unity Engine .scene management. So what this is, it's just like the imports in Java where we are using a package that someone else has already created, and in order to use it, we need to have this statement right here so that we can use it. Now we're going to create another method, and we're going to call this one void and load next scene. I take 0 arguments, so there's nothing in my parentheses. And what I want it to do is I want it to load the next scene whenever this button is clicked or whenever we call it. So for this one, our statement is scene manager dot load scene, and then inside of my parentheses I need the name of the scene. So I'm going to create a variable up here that allows the user to enter a string so that we can use it for the load scene. So I'm going to call mine public. Public allows the user to be, or the developer to be able to edit this string inside of the Unity developer. And I'm going to call it string next scene. Okay, and then the string down here is going to be next scene. And I want it to load the next scene after 3 seconds. So I'm going to use a method called invoke. And inside of this, I need to type the method. So load next scene. And then I'm going to do a comma and the amount of time. So 3.0f, that's the number of seconds, and save. And then over here, when I click on load scene, it gives me the option for adding the next scene title in here, which we haven't created yet. We'll do in the next tutorial.